Hey, how's it going, guys? Jack and Maddie with the Toasty Bros. Today, we are answering the question we get all the time. What is the fastest gaming PC? Well, we're just gonna show you.
And this video is sponsored by AMD and their beautiful 5800X 3D, which is hiding right here. Here it is. When it comes to esports titles, having very fast CPUs is pretty much a necessity because it relies a lot more on the CPU than it does the GPU. We do have an awesome GPU here, we'll talk about in a minute, but the main focus of this video is that 5800X 3D with its really high clock speed and 8 cores and 16 threads, making it one of the best gaming CPUs on the market. But how fast is it actually? Well, we're going to build this PC right here and find out. So we'll just go over all the parts and how it makes up this build, and thanks again to AMD for making this possible.
So ladies and gentlemen, this is the Ryzen 7 5800X 3D. So what sets this apart from a normal 5800X or any other processor that you've probably ever seen in the market is it has stacked 3D cache with 96 megabytes of cache, which is an insane number. This is something that before was only really available on like some server CPUs, but I would not be surprised to see if AMD with their new processors moving forward starts to use this. And I'm very excited to see what exactly it does in terms of gaming, because that's kind of what we're all here for. And to cool that 5800X 3D, because it does not come with the stock cooler, I don't recommend trying to put a stock cooler on this because it kind of needs a decent cooler. You could get a nice tower cooler, or you could go the next step up and get something like this Master Liquid ML240R. This is ARGB. It is Cooler Master, so it's going to actually go in this case pretty well. Funny enough, I don't think the fans are actually the exact same, but we do this all the time. As long as you have ARGB 3-pin, then this will all plug in perfectly and look really nice. Now we decided to go with a kind of mid-range board. I mean, really these X570s are a little bit even more towards the low-end X570s. This is an MSI X570A Pro. These are usually to be had between 120 and like 150 bucks. They're really not super expensive. As you can see, 5,000 ready. Pretty much any X570 nowadays is going to be 5,000 ready. But the best part about the CPU is it still is relatively low wattage. Even though it's a really high-end processor, some of the fastest speeds you can get, you could plop it into like a B450, just updating the BIOS and everything, and it would work just fine. You know, at the Toasty Bros, brand new build, lots of new high-end parts, so why not go with a pretty decent board? Now for RAM, we have this Team Group T-Force Dark Z, which we have not used a whole lot. It's actually not RGB. Shame on Toasty Bros for not using RGB, but it's still some really good looking RAM, huge heat sinks, 3600 megahertz, some really good CAS latency, so we're pretty excited. 32 gigs, so two 16 gig DIMMs, dual channel. I mean, really, what more could you ask for? And now for the storage, once again, Team Group, we have this NVMe SSD, and what sets this apart from a normal NVMe SSD is it is Gen 4, so we should see some pretty insane speeds on here. So we have read up to 5,000 and write up to 4,000 megabytes per second. With the Gen 3, you're gonna take about 1,000 off of each of those at least. So you're definitely getting quite a big performance boost. And hey, we do have like the fastest AMD processor on hand. We have a really good graphics card to go with it. So you might as well have 2 terabytes of very nice heatsink cooled storage.
For the graphics card, we have the RX 6700 XT, and Jackson's going in and out with that zoom. Now, of course, we could go with something even higher in like a 6800 XT or 6900 XT, but the main focus of this build is esports, and you really don't need a super high-end GPU if you're gonna be playing games like Fortnite, CSGO, and stuff at really, really high frame rates, especially at like 1080p, but the 6700 XT is still no slouch. I mean, look at 12 gigs of VRAM. It's really good for pretty much any game you want to throw at it. Now for the power supply, which probably has a really bad glare on camera right now. This is the EVGA 750GA Supernova, 750 watts, more than enough to power this build and some upgrades in the future, and of course, it's 80 plus gold, so it's a really highly rated power supply, and we're gonna be throwing some sleeve cables on there because, you know, why not? We got some Asia Horse cables. I'm gonna go ahead and pull them out real quick. Black and white. We got like a zebra theme going on here. It's gonna look really clean inside this case. I tried to go for mainly black and white components, so the RGB just really stands out and nothing like takes away from the RGB, because you know what? We got a lot of RGB inside this case, which is the legendary TD500 mesh. 3 RGB fans up front, a bunch of ventilation. This is one of my favorite mid-tower cases just based on its design.
Broken.
Yeah, it looks broken. Aha, just kidding. That's a little bit of an etching in the glass. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, it's gonna look really nice with that AIO. We're just not wasting more time. Put this thing together and see how well that 5800X 3D performs.
Alright guys, we're now playing Apex Legends. We're on low settings for the most part, a couple of like mediums here and there, but this game actually has a 300 FPS cap and 300 FPS, so we're pretty much staying at like the max the whole time.
The 5800X 3D when we're running lower settings is definitely more ideal for esports titles, and you'll see throughout the games we test that it does exceptionally well.
Dude, that guy is lagging.
He is lagging real bad.
He's hacking. He's lag hacking.
But you
I'll tell you what.
clutched up. Oh, you're gonna get him.
Dude, teammate did not guard like he was supposed to.
Oh.
What game is he playing? I don't have any more meds. There's just like nothing I can do here.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, nice try.
Nothing
nice
I can do.
Switch.
I mean, dude, he's like flying.
Oh, he hit it though.
That's squirrels.
Squirrels.
That's squirrels.
Oh, now he's getting them.
Isn't that good, bro?
Oh, there you go.
These guys ain't even that good. Oh, that's punished.
Oh, your teammates were not there to save you.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, there you go. 300 plus FPS. Let's move on to the next
crazy.
game. All right, we are now in Valorant, and the settings we are rocking with are pretty much all low. Once again, we're going for some performance settings here, and it's more than capable of doing that with the 5800X 3D if you're someone who just wants absolutely insane FPS numbers for absolutely no reason, unless, you know, the future comes and there's 1000 hertz monitors that somehow we can see. But, I mean, yeah, look at that. Those settings are nice and smooth. Let's just go get some I just want to rack up some more kills before we end. The FPS numbers are insane. Oh, his little head was peeping over the box. I had a shot. 700 FPS doesn't make you an absolute great gamer. Oh, you see? You still take L's. You still take L's in games like Valorant, but I mean, that's really high FPS. I mean, I wasn't even expecting that much. I was expecting like the 300 to 400 range. So this has one more game, which is not entirely a esports title. It's Halo Infinite. It's more GPU dependent. We're just going to show you what the system overall can do in those higher end games as well. All right, gamers, the last game we're going to be testing is Halo Infinite on all low settings, 1080p, just to show you a slightly more graphically demanding esports title and how it performs on this PC. And 200 FPS in Halo Infinite, a newer game that is definitely more demanding to run than any other game that we've tested so far. Getting 200 plus FPS, pretty impressive. Oh. Let's just capture the flag. My teammates are gonna hate me. And I'm definitely going for kills. Oh God, I'm dead. My flag now. My flag now. Ah! Oh. Those body shots were not enough. And look at those FPS numbers. 100 plus FPS, high refresh rate, 1080p, no problem. That was fun benchmarking this PC. Let's hop this video up real quick.
All right, guys, we just got done benchmarking this PC, and yeah, I mean, the performance is absolutely amazing. With that stacked L3 cache, it actually is on par with something like the i9 12900K or i9 12900KS, which is freaking insane because that's just a really expensive CPU. And so the fact that AMD was able to come in clutch with a 5800X 3D and give us that extra performance boost, especially in gaming, it's pretty awesome.
And the best part is, if you have a PC at home with an existing Ryzen CPU, like a 300 series, 400 series, or 500 series motherboard, with a BIOS update, you can easily drop that 5800X 3D into your system and get instant esports gaming performance and be able to add a higher end GPU as well. So it's a very versatile CPU. They should definitely check using the link in the description down below. Big thanks again to AMD for sponsoring this showcase of the 5800X 3D. You should definitely consider it for your next upgrade or gaming PC build.
So as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out our other two YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/toastybros, and do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
And in case you guys didn't know, besides the other two YouTube channels and also the Twitch, we also have social media such as Instagram, Twitter, we have Facebook, we got TikTok, and we're pretty popular on all those if we do say so ourselves.
Check the description down below to follow all those social media platforms if you just can't get enough of the Toasty Bros. See you guys later. Goodbye.